What's going on, everyone? Daniel here, and welcome to my American Horror Story Roanoke Episode 3 spoiler review. Make sure you have seen the episode. It should take me about 2 minutes to recap it, then give you the pros, cons, and final score. Thanks so much for joining me. Also, if you guys didn't know, I do my weekly reactions to American Horror Story Roanoke. If you want to see my reaction for Chapter 3, the link in the description down below. So we begin this episode with Shelby, Matt, and Lee looking for Flora. At the end of last episode, she went missing, so we have a bunch of police people coming out, the community's coming out to search for her, and what they stumble upon is a pig parts and doll parts mixed together, and they find this house, and this house is something you would find out of the Resident Evil 7 demo. When they go into the barn, they find two young children sucking on a cow's tit. Not my definition of a fun Saturday morning, but hell, I guess if you're in that part of the country, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? To entertain yourself. Indeed. So anyway, they take the kids to the hospital, and that's the end of them. They can barely speak English, so they're Trump supporters. Mason is angry at Lee, so that's going on there. And he ends up pushing her and everything. He ends up leaving, and they get this call later in the night. Mason's dead. Hallelujah. That's a good thing. I wasn't like, oh man, he's dead. I was like, okay, well, we got him out of the way, thank God. And nobody ever makes a big deal about it. He was killed in a weird way. His body was burnt and put on like a weird crossish, like he was put on something on the tree or something. And it's not like they don't really specify or talk about it afterwards. They kind of like, oh, he got killed. Okay. So we meet this guy named Cricket, which, damn, that fake ass wig on his head, dude. Jesus Christ. So, I'm surprised that it's not like something out of Dr. Seuss that would come alive on his wig, whatever he has there. So Cricket comes to the home, and he ends up talking to the dead. And Priscilla, oh, we gotta talk about Priscilla here. He's talking to Priscilla, and he says that Flora is with Priscilla, who is this little girl, but they're running away, and they're different from the butcher woman. Now, he ends up talking to the butcher woman, which is Kathy Bates, and she says that they're trespassing on her land. And a bunch of hell breaks loose. The candle gets cut in half. The windows start breaking everywhere, and Cricket ends up saying, Croatone! Croatone! You know, of course. So they end up calling him a crook, because after that he says, I can take you to your daughter. This costs $25,000. I take Visa. And usually when somebody says that right after a big event, like a big spiritual, supernatural something that happens, probably when they're asking for $25,000 is not the best time to actually ask for $25,000. It kind of sounds it's a little fishy, little fishy, roast beefy. So that happens there. So they kick him out and everything, and he talks about the story of the lost colony. And this is probably my favorite scene out of the whole episode. Kathy Bates' character, at least from what I read, her name is Thomason White. May have been wrong, I think it's Thomason White. And she is sentenced to death. So they sentence her out. And the guy who actually sends her out is Tex from The Last Ship. And I was like, oh my God, he's in this show and everything. That's amazing. Well, not for long. So they end up sending him out. Wes Bentley's looking all awesome and everything. Oh, mother, I'm sorry. Forgive me, mother. And, all that Shakespearean talk that they're doing. So when she's out in the woods, she hasn't eaten for days. She hasn't drinking for days. And she meets this witch played by Lady Gaga. Yay. So she ends up killing the people, not everyone, but when she goes back to camp, she ends up getting the hatchet in the guy's head, which is really gross and really brutal and really graphic. She kills another guy in the neck, and she gives, she says, never betray me again, my son. So Wes Bentley is going to be by her side, and so she gave her son, her son begged for mercy, and she didn't kill her son. Cricket ends up reaching them in the woods, and he tries to make a deal with them. So Matt is caught having sex with this woman, which apparently looked like Lady Gaga. That Matt was I was reading the Instagram stuff, because Shelby was like, but then all of a sudden Matt disappeared, and I caught him having sex with a woman in the woods. Why tell me someone in their right minds why Matt would drift away silently when there's a ghost meeting going on with a psychic, and he goes to an area and he starts doing it with a woman. Like, why would he do that? Like, I'm just saying, like, Shelby really needs to think things through before she just goes savage on him. Obviously, she saw him, like, going at it, and she saw her face. He obviously wasn't in his right state of mind, so maybe he was being possessed, maybe he was, like, she never thinks about things. And it really pisses me off. Anyway, Lee gets arrested at the end. Bye, Lee. Bye. Maybe he'll get arrested and never come back again, hopefully. I still think she's an interesting character, but okay, if she goes away, fine, bye. But that ends up happening there. Now on to the pros and cons. Now, I do not know the actor's name who played Cricket, but he did a fantastic job. Honestly, when he first entered on screen, I thought, great, we're going to have one of these characters. He's going to be boring. He's going to be stupid. And he was one of the best things out of the episode. Last week, we got information on the house. Now, this week, we're getting information on the Lost Colony. And yet again, Kathy Bates is amazing in here. Her character is creepy and disturbing. Again, how graphic and brutal it was when she put the hatchet in that guy's head and the hatchet got removed. And I mean, the blood, and you could see the inside of his head. Now to name a few things that I didn't enjoy about this week's episode. Now, I don't care that Mason died, but what I care about, again, what I mentioned earlier, is no one makes a big deal out of it. Like 10 minutes later, Cricket comes in, and then they're doing a whole nother segment, they're doing a whole nother arc, which it gets better, of course. But it's just like, oh, he died. Oh. Okay. Now, I thought this episode was great, but I was not a big fan of the ending. Lee getting arrested. Oh my god, Shelby and Matt. Looks like their relationship is, turning for the worse. They're obviously still alive because they're telling their story. Why would I care if Shelby and Matt get divorced or if they have relationship problems? All I want to see them do is get out of that damn house. But the way they ended the episode, Lee getting arrested. Okay, she gets arrested. I don't see how that's a way to end an episode, though. Now, the opening was pretty slow for my blood. It took me about 15 minutes to get invested into this week's story. Overall, this week was a great episode. The addition of Cricket and the backstory and footage of the Lost Colony with Kathy Bates and Wes Bentley was great. So far, every single week, Roanoke gets better and better. I'm going to give American Horror Story Roanoke Episode 3 an A-. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, make sure to smack that like button. You can comment down below to me what you guys thought about the episode. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What was your favorite moment in this week's episode? Again, mine was Kathy Bates and Wes Bentley when she was sent out and she was locked up. Lady Gaga ends up saving her. She goes back, puts a hatchet in that guy's head. Her son begging for mercy. I think Kathy Bates and Wes Bentley are going to kill it this season. For sure, Bates is going to get an Emmy nomination for her role. I can already see it. I can foresee the future. So that was my favorite moment for sure. That stole it for me. I love the Lost Colony scenes. I love the cinematography. I love the lighting. It was a really great episode. I enjoyed it a lot. It's my favorite episode so far out of the season. It gets better and better every single week. Yeah, there were a few slow scenes, and then they didn't make a big deal about Mason. They didn't make a big deal about the two kids that much. But other than that, and also Matt fucking Lady Gaga in the woods, I thought that was a little bit like Shelby. Oh, like why would he go do that? Honestly, Shelby, you're a retard. Obviously. Anyway, going back, I thought it was great. Share this review with your friends. Hit that subscribe button for more awesome American Horror Story Roanoke reviews every single week. Join the Big D Nation. The road to 500 has begun. Join or be deleted. Till next time, bye-bye.